Questions and comments? The honourable member for Courtenay-Alberni.
I keep hearing from the Conservatives about jobs, and I think we need to talk about our resource industry here in Canada and how that's producing jobs. You know, in my riding, in Courtenay-Alberni, in Port Alberni, we've seen raw logs go up tenfold in 10 years. This is under the Conservative government and the BC Liberal government. What does it look like? Highest crime rate in British Columbia, highest poverty rate in British Columbia. We've seen not the Conservatives but the Liberal government now remove a 25% tariff to build ferries in Canada that generated $118 million that could have gone to creating more efficiencies in our shipbuilding sector. So we're shipping jobs now to Poland and Gdansk. We're hearing about canneries closing on the north coast, and we're shipping fish to China so that we can fillet them and put them on our grocery store shelves. But we don't hear about why this government in Alberta isn't processing raw bitumen. You know, the Norwegians have $1 trillion in their prosperity, their wealth fund, and Alberta's got $11 billion. Like, we've mismanaged our resources. And I want to hear from the member how they're going to create jobs refining products and how they're going to stop this rip and ship mentality that's failing communities like Port Alberni. And it's going to fail communities in Alberta.
For Brandon Souris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's been a lifetime goal of mine to make sure that we process more of our products here on the prairies, particularly in the grain industry that I've been involved in all of my life. But I go back to saying that if the government, or particularly the third party in the House, was really concerned about the environment, they would be pushing to get this oil into the hands of countries like China and other areas that want it, so that we can reduce the greenhouse gases in their countries. I spent 7 of my 14 years in the Manitoba legislature in opposition, Mr. Speaker, as the critic for environment and conservation. No one cares more about the conservation efforts than I do in regards to those areas in my history of farming, Mr. Speaker. And so I say that we need to make sure that we can produce as many jobs as we can and continue to process all of the products that we can possibly do in this country, and putting this project in place as a pipeline will put thousands of good-paying jobs into Canadian hands.